So Shenny, it's another game heading into Doncaster. It's a bit of a different challenge. Obviously, the game's been switched. We're over at the Eco Power Stadium this Sunday. First off, what sort of challenge are you expecting from those guys?
Well, I think with them, I'd like us to carry on that spirit we took from the Featherstone game. I just think that was such a tough and gritty performance from our boys in real tough conditions. A good Fev team that was spirited and they've already shown they're a good team how they beat us before. But I think for us, that's a side we haven't seen from our team just yet. That tough, gritty side. So just really pleasing with that the ground the win out. So I think we took a lot out of that. So taking that confidence into a bit of a longer turnaround as well. We've got some real good training into us this week. Just had a great session out there today. A couple of big sessions out on the field, then a few bits of a split in the wrestle room, some in the gym. So the boys look great, look really good going into this week. And I think we need to playing Doncaster at their place. A similar pitch to what we've got here, so I think it suits our style of rugby. So we're definitely excited, but we definitely know the challenge that's coming up in front of us. They have quite a bit of experience within their team, Doncaster. Some players are a bit unknown to us, but there's a few there that really cause us problems if we're not on the money.
You mentioned the guys that are experienced, a couple of big forwards in there, so Matangi Pauli, obviously a former Wakefield Trinity player himself. Quite a big set of forwards. Have you been looking at those guys and challenging your guys up front to really front up this week?
Yeah, 100%. I think firstly is going into this year we wanted to make a big focus about ourselves. It's playing the way we want to play, no matter the opposition. I think you have to know the opposition going into games just so they don't catch you out. Well, as coaches, we'll look under every stone for the boys and give them all the information they need. But the way we want to play it's sometimes the conditions dictate that, but the way we want to play is our way and let teams worry about us. But certainly when you've got someone, those two players in particular, in Matangi and Pauli, they're such big threats, especially with the ball. You've got to do some kind of game plan and work around that. So, no, they'll definitely challenge us, but that's what our boys are after at the moment, want to be challenged.
In terms of our squad then, unfortunately we saw Jay Pitts go down with an injury at Featherstone.
Yeah.
Any update on how bad that injury could be?
He's in a leg boot, so he's definitely not available this week. And we'll just see. He's really tough and he's very frustrated because he's enjoying his rugby at the moment. You can see that he's a big player for us. So for us, yeah, good, but someone else gets an opportunity. I think for Jay, we'll just take it week by week and see when he's available. But hopefully, it's not as bad as we first thought. So fingers crossed. But still, he's still got to go through his rehab and see how he recovers from that. So not quite sure on him yet. But we're not expecting it to be really long term.
You speak of Jay there, obviously having a really good season so far. There's a couple of guys that obviously were here in previous years that are seemingly taking a step forward. Renew for Tony's been one that the fans have really picked out. How great has it been to see the guys that have been here for a number of years kind of react to your guys' coaching and your guidance?
Oh, 100%. I think for us it was to get to know them, get to know the players. I mean, sometimes when you watch them as opposition, you don't really... You have an idea in your head what they're like. I think Max is one in particular for me, and then always players that. It's always a good sign when you know players that have played with those guys, and they say no, he's good, he's a really good, talented player, and they like playing with him. That's normally a really good indicator if they're good players. And a lot of these boys you're left with some really good players there. So it was great to get in, and I totally agree. They just look like they're enjoying it and they're playing well and they're buying into it. They're the ones that are working hard. They're the ones putting the bodies on the line and buying into all the little bits we're throwing at them. So I find the group really coachable. It's a group that wants to be coached. They're really coachable. They're enjoying the rugby. So and that's what we can ask from them. And I think they're seeing that they're improving. I think that's a big thing as a player. If you see you improving in some of the bits, because you might question a coach at first why he's asking you to do certain things, but I think they can see actually majority of our players are improving within it. So I think we all know as well that the game, you have roller coasters, you have ups and downs in performance sport, and that's just the way it is. But for the majority of our boys, they're heading up in that positive improvement area.
Few new faces in the last few weeks. Darrell Alfords, Kai Rodwell, obviously Kai made his debut at Featherstone. how those guys been integrating into the rest of the squad?
I think it's easier now when you're adding players in because it's set. I think our standards are set. The environment's really good. It's a good learning environment. It's a welcoming one. It's friendly banter within it. Boys are encouraging each other to get better, and they're driving high standards within training and the way we want to play. So the players are starting now to grab hold of that. So anyone that new comes in, very much welcomed, but adding to the competitive nature of our squad is inevitably what we want. Is that drives performances, that drives improvement, that competition for places. Everyone wants to be out training and making sure that they're in the light to be picked for the weekend, our upcoming games. So for us, the staff and the club, it's a great position. For the players, it's competitive, but they know that we'll be strong out there on a weekend. So yeah, those guys, those two in particular, yeah, have added to the squad, and looking forward to seeing how they can improve as well.
For yourself then, you're around 6 months into the role here, in your time here at Wakefield. How much have you enjoyed it, and how much are you enjoying being in this team along with the rest of the coaching staff? Obviously, you know a lot of these guys from your time at previous clubs as well.
Oh, 100%. I think I was ready for it, and the next stage in my career was to step up and coach a bit first team, and the boys have just embraced me and then helped me just keep improving as well. I think obviously Daryl's he's very experienced and a highly qualified and quality coach, so with loads of experience, so he's great to learn from as well. The coaching group's great, but for me, as what's mentioned before about the group helps you because they're so coachable and they embrace it, and they buy into the drills and they want to do that, so that makes your job a bit easier. But on your point of do I enjoy it, I absolutely love it. I love it. You can see the ambition of the club, of Matt and the family, where they want to take this, the players, how they're driving it, the coaching staff, the unity between us. There's nothing to be upset about here at the moment. It's great. Just got to keep improving and keep driving the boys. Yeah.
Switching back to this week, then we've obviously mentioned that Pitsy won't be in the team. Is there any other potential squad news? Any returns for this week?
Oh, I'm trying to think now in my head. No. Too much away. Trying to think who comes back. It'll be pretty similar, to be fair. Pretty similar. We'll have a middle come in. I think that'll be it's 1 in, 1 out kind of thing.
Fair enough. Looks like we're going to have a bit of a travelling force once again, as it has been all of 2024. Looking like we're over 1,000 fans again. I think this morning I heard that it was around 850, and obviously we've got a few more days still to go with sales. How great has it been to have the fans really buy into what we're trying to achieve in 2024?
I think that pulled the boys on against Featherstone. I said to Pauli in the box looking on, I said, oh, credit. They're incredible the way they've bought into it as well. Talk about the players buying into it. I think the fans are as well. I think it's great when the club's had some tough times and then someone comes in and shows ambition and what it can do and drive that support. But it takes the fans to buy into it and drive each other a little bit to come out and support us and watch us. And I know us as staff, but the boys more. So that when they come out for the warm-ups and the cheers and it feels like an home game, that's different. That's different. So they're probably the biggest part of this journey. Everyone then buying into it and sticking with us all the way through and see where we can take this. So no, for me, they're massively important for us.